Draghi warns, the euro tumbles and sends a shiver through U.S. equity markets. Didn't we put this euro story to bed in 2012? This is your MacDesk Floor Report for February 7th, 2013. I'm Rebecca Darst from the Market Access Center here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, speaking to you as the Dow trades just off triple-digit intraday lows driven by concerns out of Europe. Earlier today, the ECB left its key lending rate unchanged at 0.75%, but in the ensuing press conference, the market moved on comments by ECB President Mario Draghi. He expressed concern over recent strength in the euro, possibly jeopardizing the shaky economic recovery in the eurozone, and said the bank would maintain an accommodative monetary stance. Immediately, we saw the biggest intraday drop in the euro since early July, investor flight into German bunds, and a spike in the dollar index coinciding with weakness in the equity futures. Here in the U.S., weekly initial jobless claims came in at 366,000. This was a little higher than market consensus had anticipated, and continuing claims rose as well. So here's where we are. We're 79 points lower in the Dow. That's about 7 S&P points to the downside. 9 out of 10 S&P sector groupings are trading in negative territory, with materials, energy, and consumer discretionary stocks among the laggards, and relative strength in utilities and consumer staples names. This is classic risk-off positioning today. The VIX is up 6% and back above a reading of 14, although option volumes on the whole have not been huge today. And we've been seeing some short-term buyers of S&P weekly calls, possibly looking for the index to firm up a little to close out the week. We also had a string of same-store sales reports for the month of January out from major retailers. The month was a strong one for department stores, with 4 out of 5 names beating street estimates, and 3 out of 5 apparel retailers, with discount and teen retailers split in reporting. And even while the composite gain for all retailers was the biggest in nearly 2 years, most of these names are getting no love in today's market. Take Gap, where January comps came in at double street expectations. That stock opened higher, but is now down 4%. So let's take a look at what's on tap for next week. Sunday marks the Chinese New Year, a very happy New Year to those celebrating, and there is a Golden Week holiday in China next week, so markets will be closed. Elsewhere on Monday, we've got January M2 and M3 money supply data due out of Japan, December industrial and manufacturing production data from France, and some housing price data from the UK. Earnings season is winding down here in the US, although we do have reports out on Monday from Radian Group, Masco, organic food maker Annie's, and Dun & Bradstreet. On Tuesday, Japan will release January consumer confidence and machine tool orders data. We've got December current account data from France, a string of UK data points, including January PPI input and output prices, CPI, and the retail price index. U.S. data includes December job openings by industry total, that's known as JOLTS data, and NFIB Small Business Optimism Index, January's Treasury Fed budget statement, and earnings from Avon, Coca-Cola, McGraw-Hill, Western Union, and Tumi, to name a few. Wednesday the 13th brings Japan's Domestic Corporate Goods Prices Index for January, December industrial production data from the Eurozone, an inflation report from the Bank of England, and here in the US, we've got weekly MBA mortgage applications, January import prices, and advanced retail sales, along with earnings from Dean Foods, Hospira, John Deere, Duke Energy, MetLife, and Cisco. Thursday, February 14th, it's Valentine's Day, but will markets be feeling the love after a string of Q4 GDP reads from Japan, France, Germany, and the Eurozone, along with an expected target rate release from the Bank of Japan and a monthly report from the ECB? As usual, Thursday pre-market will bring weekly initial jobless claims, and then on the earnings front, numbers from Waste Management, Borg-Warner, DaVita, Alpha Natural Resources, Pepsi, General Motors, and CBS. Closing out the week, December trade balance data is due out from Italy and the Eurozone composite read, UK January retail sales. Canada will release December manufacturing sales and January existing home sales. And we'll have a full deck of US data releases with February manufacturing data, December tick flows, January industrial production and capacity utilization, and the University of Michigan Confidence Index for February. Earnings are due out from Ultra Petroleum, American Electric Power, Burger King, and Abercrombie & Fitch. We'll be watching all the action from under the bell podium here on the trading floor. Until next week, I'm Rebecca Darst for the MacDesk Floor Report.